Jamaican woman cheated on her boyfriend by having sex with her uncle.
I beg your pardon?
Dear Pastor, I am 41 years old, and I have one son who is 12 years old. My son's father is living in Canada. He sends money for him occasionally. He is a divorcee. He told me that if he is going to get married again, he would marry me. I don't believe him because he doesn't give me the impression that he wants to settle down. Sometimes when we talk, and I ask him about marriage, he ignores me. I am living at my uncle's home. My uncle is 61 years old. I had a boyfriend who used to visit me sometimes, but he was very jealous. He saw me picking out grey hair from my uncle's head, and he told me that he didn't like that. He said my uncle and I are too close.
You don't find that suspicious?
My uncle always says that my boyfriend doesn't seem to be ambitious, and he does not dress properly. If you were to see my uncle, you wouldn't believe that he is in his 60s. He is not overweight, and he walks every day, except Sundays. Pastor, I have something to confess to you. I am in love with my uncle.
Stop it. Get some help.
He is the half-brother of my father. When I came to this house, it was only to spend the holiday. But while I was here, I wasn't feeling well, and I called my boss and told him that I wasn't well. He told me I should send in a certificate from the doctor, but I didn't go back to the doctor for it and time caught up on me. My uncle said that I should not bother myself. At that time, I didn't think that he wanted to have an affair with me. That was the furthest thing from my mind. My mother came, and my uncle told her that he will help me with my son until I am back on my feet. Nothing was said about seeking a job. I just did everything to please my uncle. One day he told me that he would give me $15,000 a week if I would just stay with him and take care of everything. The neighbors knew me to be his niece. He lived abroad for many years, and he gets his pension. One day I called my boyfriend, and I told him not to come back to see me. My uncle was very happy about that. It is because of my uncle why I don't pressure my son's father for anything. I used to hide and sleep with my uncle, but I don't anymore because my son has seen us many times in bed. And sometimes all three of us sleep together.
Wait a minute!
My son has never seen us having sex. I make sure that he is in his bed sleeping if we are going to have sex. I know it is wrong to have sex with my uncle. I talked to him about it, and he said I should remember that he is only the half-brother of my father. He said that everything he has will go to me because he has helped to set up his children, and they are not looking to him for anything. I would like to get married. I don't believe that I can continue living this way, but I cannot give up this life and take up a man who has nothing. What my child's father sends I use to pay my son's school fees, but he hardly sends anything extra for me. Nobody knows that I am having sex with my uncle. This is the first time I am talking about it. So keep my identity private and give me your advice. Initials withheld.
Dear writer, I am absolutely sure that you know that I can't encourage you to continue to have an intimate relationship with your uncle. It is because you know that what you are doing is wrong why you are not comfortable with it. Therefore, you have decided to write to me about it. Your son is 12 years old. You might think that your son is not aware of what is going on, but children are very smart and they know much more than what adults may think. They are observant. Don't you believe that your son would wonder why you don't sleep in your own bed instead of sleeping in your uncle's room on his bed? Yes, he is not stupid. You say that you and your uncle are in love. He meets all your bills, and he takes care of the household. He gives you $15,000 per week, so you may find it very difficult to walk away from him. But, I must ask you, how long do you intend to be living this way? Is it going to be like this for the next few years when your son is 17 years old? What are you going to tell him in the next couple years when he would be brave enough to question you? I will tell you now what your son is going to do if you don't break up with your uncle and move out. He is going to curse you and tell you that you are a worthless mother who is having sex with your uncle. And he is also going to say that he has no respect for you. So, while I recognize that this man has been good to you, I want you to tell him that this love affair cannot continue. Tell him that you want to seek a job and move out of his house because you must show respect to your son, and you have to deal with your conscience and you would love to get married. But, I go further. I would love for you to forgive yourself for the mistake you have made by getting sexually involved with your uncle. Pastor.
Well guys, even though incest or family ram, as we call it in Jamaica, is taboo, it certainly happens, but like most taboo topics, no one talks about, at least not openly. Unfortunately, when a woman is in financial need, oftentimes she might end up doing something she would not normally find herself doing because it is against her core values. But, like this writer, she fell on hard times and her uncle stood up to the challenge and helped her out when she needed it most. And when these things happen, sometimes a woman may low-key feel obligated to repay such kindness, and women know what most men would want to be repaid for their kindness. I believe this was what happened in this situation. I am glad the writer actually got some help, but based on Jamaican culture and the law of the land, family ramp is frowned upon, so I understand her guilt, especially as a 41-year-old woman. If she was in her 20s, we could say she is young and doesn't know any better, but she does, otherwise, she would not be writing to Dear Pastor. I agree with the advice Pastor gave her. She needs to cut off her intimate relationship with her uncle, and since this situation started by visiting her uncle and losing her job thereafter, she needs to get a job and move out. I am sure her son probably already knows that they have been intimate. Kids today are more exposed than they were in the 90s. There is a Jamaican quote that says, "Cousin and cousin boil good soup, but this uncle and niece soup will soon spoil, and when it does, chicken will come to roost, point blank and period." But let me know in the comment section what you think about the writer's situation. While you do that, let's see what other people have to say.
First comment comes from Brian Johnson. Boy, this one here no normal star, total slackness. You two need to mash it up, man. Owen Gordon added, I would like to commend the pastor for his advice. It was sage and filled with compassion. I hope the lady takes the advice and ends the relationship. It will be hard to walk away from the help, but she must. I would also pray that her uncle will see the error of his ways and allow her to leave the relationship without any ill feelings. It would even be redemptive if he could find it in his heart to continue to help her until she gets on her feet. The process of ending it must begin now. Des said, you are both nasty and shameless. Damn! Jim Blade Brown also added, some women just know how to sell themselves short and out of desperation made her take her uncle's tree bark. Her uncle him doesn't have any darn shame either. Why would he try to have an affair with his brother's daughter now? I hope his brother is not alive to see this slackness that is taking place between his brother and daughter. Jarno, if I were your baby daddy and I read I man wouldn't even bother come down from Canada and marry you. I man wonder how your cousins feel about their daddy laying his tree bark on ya. Lady D chimed in with, the fabric that once made Jamaica a moral society has been rotten, eaten by worms, rats and cockroaches. The money that is being given to you by your uncle and son's father, are you saving any? 61 years old and he promises to give everything to you, don't bank on it. He may live until 90 years old. By that time you will be 70 years old. These women in Jamaica, I really thought that the majority of them are ambitious. She claims that the ex-boyfriend is not ambitious, well neither are you. When you meet a man, what can you bring to the table? I am just shaking my head and sighing. And the last comment comes from El Jacko, all because she is lazy and licky why she is sleeping with her uncle. I don't know what is wrong with these people at all, and when them get old them start ball. Time is the master and it will tell on them.
Wow, I must confess that this story is very interesting. It shows that you can say one thing today, but like another Jamaican quote says, when trouble take you, picnic shirt fit you. Meaning, when faced with a bad situation, people will make any adjustments necessary to get out of it. and we can see that the writer had no intention of sleeping with her uncle. However, hardship came knocking on her door, so she did the unthinkable to survive. Sadly, this situation is not unique to the writer because family ram happens behind many closed doors in Jamaica. But, as previously mentioned, it is taboo, so even if someone finds out, they are likely to keep it to themselves or only tell close friends or other family members. And no family member would want to be the one to bring down shame on the family, so that is why we do not hear about more stories like this one. Speaking of stories guys, if you like Reddit stories, cheating stories and relationship stories like this one, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button to help get this video out to others who will like this kind of content. Thank you for watching, I'll catch you in the next one, love.